Hello, divine beings. I'm back with another general reading for the collective. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it's for you, it will find you. To book a mini tarot reading with me or any of our healing services, please feel free to check out our website. I'm picking up on the energy of the root chakra. I'm wearing red today too. I felt called to wear red, but I feel like the collective is going through certain experiences that are connected to the root chakra. It's almost like things about their past that is connected to a sense of safety and security is starting to maybe come to the surface, or is it's almost like there's a spotlight being put on your sense of safety and security. So let's tune in and see what messages Spirit has for you today. So this could be like certain careers that you were pursuing that were bringing you a false sense of safety and security, and it's no longer fulfilling you anymore. Or this could be relationships that were bringing you a false sense of safety and security, and you're realizing it's not really making you feel safe and secure. That's the energy that I'm picking up on. And right before I was about to start my reading, I cut my finger. So somebody may have cut their finger. It's time to cut something off, you know? Okay, so the Anointed, answer the call, leadership, empowerment, soul gifts, whispers of Mother Earth, creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, channel. And notice there's red roses and the breathing rose. Heart healing, emotions, connection, time, eases. I'm seeing transition. So this is someone who is leaving a lifestyle, or like a particular career path, and you are now transitioning into a path that is more in alignment to you, where you can utilize a lot of your soul gifts. If you watched the previous reading, I mentioned that it's time to use your gifts, right? It's time to share your gifts. I'm seeing someone who paints, or it's like, it's not really like painting. They do something with like abstract work. Could be like they make something, not really pottery, could be pottery, but it's like, I can't really, what's the word I'm looking for? Like some kind of like multi-dimensional type of like artwork. It's like music, art, fashion, like film, painting, and it's like some kind of like an experience that you create. Multimedia art, that's the word I was looking for. So that could be something that you are starting to kind of experiment in. I'm also picking up doula, so somebody could be training to be a doula. It's like if you come from a lineage where nobody in your lineage really actively uses their gifts, their spiritual abilities, and I feel like you're going to be the first one who's really going to like step up, and you're going to be the first one in your family that's really going to utilize your gifts, right? This could be artistic abilities, this could be like spiritual gifts, and you are going to become successful by utilizing your gifts. So maybe you were made to feel like you wouldn't find success by your mediumship or by your artwork, or maybe you were someone who's like very sensitive and emotional and you were made fun of that, and now it's going to be like one of your greatest assets, right? With answer the call, that's what the call is. It's like it's time to use your gifts now. The world needs your gifts. The world needs your abilities in some way or form, because the collective is now starting to awaken to that. Like our souls are craving that now. My background is in film and fashion, and I was very creative, but I was also very sensitive and intuitive, and a lot of people did not handle my truths and my abilities in the best way, and I experienced a lot of spiritual attacks because of it. But I remember asking Spirit, I'm like, Spirit, the woman that I am now, I wish I was her, back then. And Spirit was like, they wouldn't have been ready for you. They wouldn't have even known what to do with you. They're ready for you now. With everything that's happening to us collectively, a lot of us are waking up. The veil is thinning. It's like now people are starting to understand that there is more out there. Everything is spiritual. Everything is energy based. And once you understand that and learn how to use energy in the best way possible, you can learn how to manifest and create a life that is in alignment to you. So the two cards that fell out was the Sun, joy, enjoyment, life force, success, vitality, and play, and the Holy Grail, stop the endless searching, inner quest, right? This is Spirit's way of saying you were so attached to safety and security from like external things, people, jobs, experiences, that now it's what you need is within. Like, you are the Holy Grail. It's all inside you. When I was experiencing a lot of spiritual attacks, I was getting attacked in my root chakra a lot. These enemies of mine, they didn't want me to have any kind of sense of safety or security. Like, they would block me from jobs, job opportunities, career opportunities, right? Anything to advance me. And I had reached a really, really low point in my life where nothing was working for me, nothing was happening for me. It was like everything I worked so hard to build just completely went down the drain. And I remember, sitting with myself, crying and praying, and I'm like, what could I possibly offer now? Like, what could I possibly give to the world, society now? Like, I felt like I had nothing. And it was because I attached my safety and security to external things like status, fame, fortune, that kind of stuff. And when none of that was working out for me and I was forced to sit with myself, that's when Reiki came into my life. And my teacher had said, you have healing abilities. You should be a healer. You should, help people. And I was like, me? Like, no way. I knew there was something about my energy, but I never saw myself as a healer, like, never. My teacher had convinced me to learn and train, and I did. And I started to just like offer services and healing sessions to my network, to people I knew in the industry, right? And once I did, I started to notice things. Like, I could tune into their energy, I could pick things up, I could sense things about them. And the more I did it, the more my abilities started to become more prominent, stronger. I even surpassed a lot of my teachers and mentors. Like, they were trying to keep me at a certain level, and my soul is like, oh no, she's like supposed to be going higher. And I trained and I researched and I studied. I watched a lot of like horror type films to understand the occult, darkness, dark magic. I learned how to heal myself. I learned how to remove dark magic from myself. I learned bits and pieces from other spiritualists as well, but a lot of it was more just like going within and trusting myself, trusting my abilities, really, without having any proof. And that is the first step of trusting your gifts and activating your gifts, is to trust and believe in yourself when you don't have any proof, when you don't have people who believe in you, because everybody's going to call you crazy. And with the Sun card, it's also giving yourself permission to have fun. Like, what are the things that bring you joy? What are the things that light you up? What are some of the things that you used to love doing as a kid? And how often do you do them now? Because that is a huge part of helping you cultivate your spiritual abilities and gifts as well, because you're bringing out that inner child, right? Your inner child is the one that first believes in all the magic and higher possibilities, and so you need to bring him and her out as well. And now that we are slowly shifting towards spring and summer, you're going to be outdoors more, you're going to be taking in more of the sun energy, and that's really going to help you cultivate your life force energy as well, right? Like, doing things that used to make you happy and giggle. Like, we used to love getting Slurpees. Like, that was my thing as a kid. Slurpees, ice cream. We used to walk down to the 7-Eleven and we would get all those little sour candies. Or my dad would like turn on the sprinkler and we would run through the sprinkler. Like, things like that, right? That used to bring you joy, even if like they're simple things. Bringing more of that into your life now. That's also going to help you with your root chakra. So the card that fell out was the Fertile Void, Inner Winter, Rest, Patience, Potency, Secret Beginnings. So I feel like this is the space that many of us in the collective are emerging out of. It's like, what are you now letting go of so that you can step into this new sun energy, this new beginning, right? What have you closed a door on? What have you finally surrendered and accepted? Like, okay, this isn't for me anymore. It's time to let it go. I'm seeing grief. So you could be processing some kind of loss, grief recently, like a life that you thought you wanted or needed, but it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. And now it's like accepting that, letting that go, like putting it to rest and being open to this new life, this new path that's opening for you. I'm seeing hospital. So somebody may have just said goodbye to someone, or maybe you came out of the hospital. Maybe you were battling some kind of a sickness or illness. But it's like you were in this like kind of dark space for a while, and now the sun is about to come through, right? It's like, you know, when you've experienced so many hardships and bad things, you get to a point or a place where you don't think anything good is ever going to happen for you. And having that trust and faith that no, something good is going to happen is really hard when you've experienced so much hardship, especially if it's been years, right? And so I feel like this is Spirit's way of saying, no, there's good things happening. You just have to have trust and faith. Like, don't give up. Like, you've planted the seed. Maybe you're not seeing the full bloom, but it's going to start blooming very soon if it hasn't already. When I started Mudita Healing Studio, I started it with my sisters, and we've evolved, you know, especially me. Like, I've really expanded in terms of my spiritual abilities and gifts. It was almost like I wasn't even aware of some of the abilities I had, right? And through my practice, my dedication, just really being committed, I would watch, you know, certain like supernatural films or TV shows, and I would be like, I can do that. I can do that. I don't know how I know I can do that, but I can do that. And then I would trust, and then I learned I could do it. And then I would just, you know, practice. I would sit with myself. You know, as I mentioned in some of my previous videos, I'm very, very spiritually gifted, but I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even know I carried this all within me. And the only way for me to discover that was when I was in the void, when I was sitting in my darkness, right? But when I was in survival mode and, you know, I was out there in the industry, in the workforce, I never would have been able to tune in if I didn't sit in the void, you know, that uncomfortable space where nothing is happening. That's when you really learn who and what you actually are and what you carry, you know, deep within. That's when I really like tuned in, tapped in, and I would research and I would study and I would practice, and my gifts just started to expand. I started to ascend very, very fast. And it was almost like I could look back at my childhood and kind of connect the dots. I used to be like really into mystical things when I was a kid. I loved anything supernatural. I was obsessed with films, with TV shows, particularly shows and films that were revolved around like magic, supernatural things, horror, you know, like mystical creatures, animals, that kind of stuff. Like, I was obsessed with that. And I would like stay up late at night and sometimes watch these horror shows and films like Tales of the Crypt, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, that kind of stuff, right? And now when I look back, I realize that my future self, my higher self, already knew that this was going to be my line of work in the future. This is literally the kind of stuff that I deal with, the supernatural, right? Like, I talk to spirit, see spirit all the time. I deal with entities and demons, attachments on people all the time. Like, this is literally my line of work. Like, when you start to really evolve spiritually and awaken, you'll start to look back at certain things in your childhood and you'll understand why you were drawn to certain things, why certain things, you know, brought you some kind of joy or fulfillment, why you would watch certain things, why you played certain things, why you were drawn to certain music or instruments, you know, that kind of stuff. That's your higher self connecting you, right? It's like your future self already knew. And when you are in that void space, that's when you start to really connect. That's when you start to reflect. But when you're constantly distracted, you'll never tune in, you'll never tap in, you'll never connect all the dots, right? So I feel like this is for a collective that's starting to now connect all the dots from their past, specifically their childhood. Everything will start making sense to you now. Mother Rose, returning to each other, compassion and humanity. You're starting to ask yourself, how can I use my gifts, my talents, my abilities to not only like fulfill myself, but to be of help or service for the collective? Like, what can I do that can give back as well, instead of like hardening up and, you know, becoming harsh or disconnected? It's like, how can you use that experience to help other people, to guide other people, right? Like, I'll use myself for an example. I was in a really, really dark space, and I just didn't even want to be here anymore. And I was like, what could I possibly offer people? Because I really didn't think I had anything left. And when I started my spiritual practice and I started to understand that I have healing energy and that I was able to create a safe space for a lot of my clients, and I was allowing them to feel seen and heard, that's when it started to become clear to me of the type of energy that I have and how sacred my energy actually is and what it really does for people. I didn't know, you know. I didn't know. And in me being of service and helping people, it really helped me pull out of that dark space that I was in, and allowed me to really see who I actually was from a soul level, and helped me to rebuild, you know, my strength and my confidence again, and learning how to trust myself, and really learning how to step into my power, because I didn't think I had any. So that could be something that's happening to you right now, is that you are in this transition space where you relied on maybe 3D things to give you a sense of power and security, and you're now realizing that's not where my power really comes from. My power comes from who I am on the inside and what I carry within. And once you start to understand that power that you carry within, that divine power, and you start to understand how sacred it is, you will protect it like no tomorrow, right? That's where your level of discernment comes in. You're a lot more careful of what you allow in, how much of your time and energy you give, because you understand the value of you now. You understand your worth, right? And that value and worth is something that you have to discover for yourself. No one can give it to you. No one can really show you. It's something that you have to believe in yourself, right? Okay, let's use my word card tarot, and then we will end this reading. I'm seeing a garden, like someone might be planting something. Or like, remember when we were kids, we would like bury things in their backyard, and maybe you remembered that you buried something and now you're gonna unbury it. Or sacred soulmate, twin soul, salt bath, cleanse. All your enemies are exhausted, tired, and burnt out, coming against you. Can't handle it anymore. Yeah, so people are starting to understand that there is something very powerful and supernatural about you. Big aura energy, water sign, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Financial issues. Remember I was saying earlier, root chakra, DNA upgrade, new gifts activated. They are using you. Breakup. Remember early on I said something, I felt grief, a loss, Mexico, and let her go. Well, that's the end of your reading. Until next time, stay safe.